sure we are all asking ourselves what's going on in vast Siberia. Yes, we've all heard now of the incident that happened last month where a Ural Airlines A320 did an emergency landing in a field. Something that really very rarely happens on airliners these days. And psych! This video right here, this footage is not actually from this case on last September. No, this is a footage from August 15th, 2019, where near Moscow, a Ural Airlines A321 had a bird strike and then did an emergency landing in a field. A cornfield, relatively successful. And now 4 years later, they have done the same. Great. Everybody, we can call a field landing now officially a Ural Airlines classic. So to those who still don't know what happened last September, pretty much 3 weeks ago, this Ural Airlines A320 flight U61383 from Sochi to Omsk in Russia, really vast Siberia, had to make an emergency landing. When on approach to Omsk, the pilots noticed that the green hydraulic system of the A320 has failed. And what that means for the airplane when the green hydraulic is gone is that, first of all, the braking power is reduced. Also, spoilers on the wings, nose wheel steering doesn't work, thrust reversers don't really work. Yes, this would mean that you need a really long runway for an emergency landing in case of green hydraulics failure. The problem is that at Omsk airport, the runway is relatively short. We know they're dealing with like a 2,500 meter long runway. Definitely not ideal. So what the pilots then did was, all right, we need a longer runway. Let's go to another airport. 321 nautical miles, basically the distance between Frankfurt and London, Germany. There's this airport called Novosibirsk. Relatively large city for this vast Siberia. It has a runway of 3,600 meters. Definitely long enough. 11,000 feet. This will work out great. But it obviously didn't. Why did this plane end up 96 nautical miles away from Novosibirsk? Right here near a town called Kamenka. Pretty much somewhere right here in the fields. Well, the problem was also that due to the hydraulics failure, they couldn't put the landing gear back up. The landing gear was stuck down, which incredibly increases drag. Also, the landing gear doors were all exposed, so you use a whole lot more fuel. Great. I mean, just for reference, let's check out on this A320. How much fuel do we use when we actually put the landing gear down? By the way, this is the Victor Papa BMW, the very plane that right now is in the fields. All right, hold on. There you go. Right now we've got a fuel flow of 39 kilograms per minute. Let's put the landing gear down. Right now, just for testing purposes, the plane is failure free. There we go. Let's now hold 240 knots. I know we're going a bit overspeed for the landing gear, but check this out. We're using a whole lot more fuel per minute, practically double the fuel. Yes. The decision to now fly to a longer runway that's quite a few miles out, most people will call a pilot error, especially since the A320, despite having this hydraulic failure now, would be able to stop just fine on that runway. Maybe also you can consider the idea of flying to that military airport, which is just nearby. And this one features a 3,000 meter long runway. Since this is of course an emergency landing with 7700 in the box, at least in America, you would have been able to do that, pretty sure. But no, they continued to fly eastwards, and they definitely didn't make it. They flew to around 18,000 feet and continued their flight until they reached the location near this village. I'm gonna now try to recreate this and land in a field somewhere. Yeah. It's not looking good here. Check this out. We've got pretty much no more fuel left. Maybe we might want to make it a bit less here. Internal fuel weight 0. Check out how this affects the airplane. Low. All right, very low indeed. And there we go. Engines are shutting off. Meanwhile, here we're above the vast Siberian nowhere. Check this out. I mean, okay, the reason why they had to do this field emergency landing is also because there's nothing nearby to land at. This would happen, of course, very differently in America, where there's pretty much an airport every few square miles. But here we now only have field and a road down there. Yeah, here we have the problem that the satellite scenery is very much giving up because we're so much in the middle of nowhere. So what do we do now? We have to glide this plane down and hopefully find a field like they did in real life. Let's establish best glide speed, which, You know, it doesn't even matter. We've done a bit of a dumb mistake and we're gonna land somewhere down there. This is actually relatively clear space. Airbus tells us land ASAP, and so we're gonna do that. I don't know why it's always the Airbuses that do crazy emergency landings. And they all work, too. All right, now, the Airbus won't shut up. The rat has come down automatically because our engines have failed. This provides us with some hydraulics and electricity. That's great. Something you don't know is whether they, in real life, actually made sure to keep those engines alive until the last very second in order for a go-around or something to find a proper safe location to land. This would have been actually not that dumb of an idea to let the plane glide down, although having some fuel left in your wing may cause an eruption. There we go. We've got a little town down here, actually. Now, I think that looks like a wheat field down there, so we might be able to land on that one. Now, I couldn't find the exact location of that A320, but come on. There we go. Looking good. We're very fast. We're way too fast, but come on, let's try to land down there. Stopping won't be that much of an issue. There we go. Let's try to stop. Nice. We've got a vast open field, and as you can see, our plane is in quite good condition. Okay, no, our tire is blown, but there we go. Because I guess the ground here in East Siberia is relatively dry, the plane totally made that flight well. And so now we have actually landed. Looking good. It might be time to get the evacuation mode on. Yeah. Nice. Yes, everybody get out of the plane. Come on. Things have worked well. We're all alive. Everybody's okay. Let's open all the doors, please. Let's jump out of our aircraft. Yeah, and here we are on board this A320 that's not doing exceptionally well. As you can see, I've painted it with dirt. I've also fitted emergency evacuation slide. This plane looks relatively similar to what the real A320 looks like. And now comes, of course, the crazy part of all this. Because this airplane, as you can see, is just a little bit dirty, has landed so well on this open, vast field, with none of the landing gear damaged, with none of the engines damaged, Ural Airlines has now confirmed that they are planning on flying that airplane out of the field, taking off out of it. So they're now doing some repairs to it, maybe refueling it. I mean, we can do that right here. We can just call a refuel truck. Call. Good. Get everything going. Remove the emergency evacuation slides and just take off from the vast field again. And this definitely is a big viral thing on the internet right now. People are discussing, well, is this really a good idea? First of all, I do have to say, I kind of understand it. I mean, I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to remove a plane from here, the vast Siberia, in the middle of nowhere. Also, I guess Ural Airlines really wants to get that plane flying again, as apparently it still works, and manually removing that plane with a truck that would require the plane to be scrapped, just like they did with the last A320. So I guess the option that makes the most sense to Ural Airlines is really to take this plane off. And you know what? If you have a long enough runway, this might work. I mean, it's Russia. This is definitely an idea. I wouldn't want to be on that plane for sure. But I guess since they landed so well on this relatively dry soil that didn't break the landing gear, almost acted as a proper runway, they might be able to take off out of there. I mean, we shall try that. Now, have we refueled the airplane? All right. Now, when we start the plane back up again, I mean, it's still dirty, but as you can see, these engines work fine. Also, all the systems are up. Everything works. Maybe they might consider taxiing around, maybe a little bit of a test run. Will this plane be able to even free itself out of here anyway? Raise the parking brake. Yeah, that is moving, barely. As you can see, also pulling a lot of dust behind us, but that's fine. A little bit of a test of system is not bad at all. Maybe you shouldn't reverse thrust the airplane from here because that will break the engines. All right. Good, let's maybe try to move around here. Maybe take off here on this distance. Come on, try to get going. Let's go full power. There we go. Toga takeoff. Put the flaps to maybe 2. All right, and release the brakes. Let's try to see if we can get this going. I'm pretty sure runway awareness systems of the airplane would now freak out. But let's try taking off. There we go. We've reached 100 knots. A bit very rough terrain. Now we've reached 150 knots. We're safe to go. We're safe to move on. Nice. That's what I very much like to see. Everybody, Ural Airlines is now taking off from the actual field. Looking good, and even the landing gear works now. They have apparently fixed that. Good. Somebody I'm very much excited to see. are planning on doing this, I guess they're gonna limit the weight of the airplane, maybe remove the entire interior to make it lighter. They're gonna risk the engines, picking up any foreign object, any soil. They also risk the landing gear collapsing upon takeoff. That might not be good, but also, of course, the increase of runway distance. We need like a few kilometers of clear field, and I guess if they have it, that's good for them. So everybody, I'm gonna be excited about the news of what's gonna happen to Ural Airlines, Victor Papa BMW. And I guess what we learned today is to always check your fuel. But I thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night. Now, thank you very much to my highly supporting members like Jamie Ashton, Mike C, James Duram, Ragings, Met RLG, Matt Van Z, Moritz, Bellhausen, Knots Enthusiast, Shadow, New York, Ryland Williams, Kelly Chaos, John O'Brien, and I'm addicted to Airbus A380s. Thank you.